L.
That's the next.
So I-N-A-H and L.
May I have your attention, please? If you haven't done so at this time, please sign in and please silence all cell phones and pagers. Thank you.
Good morning. This meeting of the Louisiana Tax Commission is hereby called to order. This meeting is being held at the offices of the Louisiana Tax Commission at 1051 North 3rd Street, Suite 225, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The date is Wednesday, July 21st, 2021, and the time is 10:02 a.m. Please call the roll.
Chairman Shahardi.
Here.
Commissioner Poche. Here. Commissioner Jeffers.
Here.
Commissioner Vercher.
Here.
Commissioner Wood. Here. 5 present at a quorum.
Thank you. At this time, we will, on the old business, we will take up consideration of the decision of the appeal of Brookside Properties Incorporated versus the St. Tammany Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22103-012. I'll make the motion that the Louisiana Tax Commission in the matter of docket number 20-22103-012, the appeal of Brookside Properties Incorporated versus the St. Tammany Parish Board of Review, that we fix the fair market value of land at $390,860, improvement fair market value at $554,400, for a total fair market value of $945,260.
Second?
Commissioner Vercher.
Yes.
Commissioner Poche.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi.
Yes. I'll now accept a motion for the approval of the minutes of the July 14th, 2021, 2022 Rules and Regulations Proposal Session.
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Vercher.
Yes.
Commissioner Poche.
Abstain?
That's right, you were absent that day. Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi.
Yes. And I'll accept a motion for the approval of the minutes of the July 14th, 2021 Open Meeting and Appeals Hearing.
So moved?
Second.
Commissioner Vercher.
Yes.
Commissioner Poche was absent. Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi.
Yes. We'll now consider change orders.
Tanisha Malvo on behalf of the Louisiana Tax Commission. Today we have a total of 252 change orders. Staff has reviewed those change orders and requests to approve 224, place 27 in pending status, and deny 1 in Orleans First District due to insufficient language in the reason. The reason should include a statement that the taxpayer has been informed of the new value and has agreed to it. Staff requests approval of these change orders.
You have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would move that we accept the staff recommendations and approve 224 change orders, place 27 in pending status, and deny 1 for the reason given.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher.
Yes.
Commissioner Poche.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi.
Yes. I will now consider prior pending change orders.
Tanisha Malvo on behalf of the Louisiana Tax Commission. Today we have a total of 22 prior pending change orders. Staff has reviewed those change orders and requests to approve 18 and keep 4 remaining in pending status. Staff requests approval of the prior pending change orders.
Have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we accept staff recommendations, approve 18 of the 22 prior pending change orders, place 4 back in pending status as recommended.
Second?
Commissioner Vercher.
Yes.
Commissioner Poche.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi.
Yes. All right, we'll now consider tax sale cancellations.
Tanisha Malvo on behalf of the Louisiana Tax Commission. Today we have a total of 15 tax sale cancellations. These cancellations are in the following parishes. We have 13 in Caddo Parish, and this is the last group of those from Caddo Parish where the trailer has been removed. And we have two in Livingston Parish. Reason being, one, the delayed homestead exemption should have been applied for tax year 2019 as the owner had purchased the home in 2019. And also, for the second one, based off of insufficient evidence, the homestead exemption was removed in error, and they also had the incorrect mailing address on file. Staff request approval of the 15 tax sale cancellations.
We have a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I move on approval of 15 tax sale cancellations based on staff recommendation, 13 in Caddo Parish, 2 in Livingston Parish.
Second.
Commissioner Burcher?
Yes.
Commissioner Poche?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi?
Yes. All right, now we'll move into the appeal portion of our docket. I'll ask everyone who's present, who is going to testify this morning, please stand up at your chair to be sworn in as a witness.
Alicia. I do, Alicia Watt. George. George Wallace, I do. Chad. Chad Bolton, I do. Mark. Mark Gillespie, I do. Sandy.
Sandy Kennedy, I do.
Cody. Cody Lowry, I do. Thank you.
It is the Tax Commission's policy to accept all documents into the record that were timely pre-filed in accordance with the Commission's rules and regulations. This will be done at the conclusion of all hearings on today's docket. Accordingly, there is no need to formally offer or introduce the exhibits into the record during your appeal hearing. However, if you intend to object to the submission of any of the opposing parties' exhibits, you must notify the Commission at the start of your appeal hearing. As a reminder, this is an administrative hearing, and as such, rules of evidence are relaxed. The Commission is inclined to review and consider all evidence submitted and to accept such evidence into the record. All right, the first appeal we're going to take up this morning is the appeal of Sean McKee versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22176-368. Mr. McKee, yep, come on up by the microphone and have a seat. I understand there may have been some agreement between yourself and the assessor's office. Am I correct on that? Mr. Alvarez?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, state your name for the record and tell me what the agreement is, if you all, what you all have agreed to.
Sean McKee, you agree with the state assessment?
Tax Commission staff appraisal? Okay. All right, thank you. Mr. Alvarez, if you can state for the record.
Yes, sir. The assessor's office is in agreement with the staff's appraisal.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Lowry, can you tell us about your appraisal, please?
Yes, sir. I personally appraised the property at 7401 Maple and 802 Pine Street. Using the income approach and market approach, I came to a total value of $602,000. With an undisputed land value of $146,400 and an improvement value of $463,600.
And that's a total value of $610,000, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I move on docket number 20-22176-368 that the fair market value be set at the LTC staff appraisal, land $146,400, improvement $463,600, for a total fair market value of $610,000. $10,000.
Have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
Commissioner Poche,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi.
Yes. All right, so we adopted the staff appraisal, $610,000. All right, thank you for coming. We'll now hear the appeal of Virgil Burns versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22177-111. Yeah, come on up and have a seat. Just give me one moment. All right, Mr. Burns, you go ahead and tell us about the property. Have you all reached any agreement of any kind?
If it pleases, I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
Or tell me what that agreement is. Or you can let Mr. Alvarez outline it if you'd like, either way.
If it pleases the commission, I
Yes.
spoke to the taxpayer. We're both in agreement with the LTC staff appraisal due to the condition of the property.
Oh, okay.
What are y'all, as far as the separation of the land and improvement value? I mean, it looks like there's some differences there.
I don't have the actual figures in front of me, but we would ask that the commission set the land rate at our neighborhood value so we can keep uniformity. So it would be 90,000, I'm sorry, 9,000 for the land, 61,000 for the building, total value of 7,000.
Okay. What he's requesting is we have a slightly different value for the land. This is residential property. Land and improvements are both assessed at 10% of value. So if the land's at $9,000 and the building's at $61,000, or our appraisal has land at $23,400, it would put the improvements at $46,600, but it'd still be the same number, $70,000. If you're okay with that, we'll acquiesce. The value's not going, overall value's not going to change. So, okay, all right. All right, Mr. Gillespie, if you could tell us about your appraisal.
Yes, sir. Mark Gillespie with the Tax Commission. I did personally appraise the property at 4402 Holly Grove, but it's in full condition, using the sales approach to determine the overall value of $70,000. And, let's see, and I believe that you agreed on the land value, improved value, which it falls in line with the appraisal that I performed.
Okay. All right, so we have agreement between the assessor and the property owner and taxpayer of a total value of $70,000. We have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move in docket number 22-177-111 that we set the land value at $9,000, improvements at $61,000 for a fair market value total of $70,000. Second.
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
Commissioner Poche,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers,
Yes.
and Chairman Shahari.
Yes. All right, we put it at the staff value of $70,000. So thank you all for coming. Thank you. Swear the witness in.
Jerry Adams.
No, just a moment. You swore him in? Yeah, okay, all right. All right, let me call it up first. Next is the appeal of Larry Tragio versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review. Docket number 20-22174-003. Okay, just give us one moment. All right, go ahead. If you just state your name for the record and tell us about the property.
Jerry Adams, and he asked me to say I do. I guess I'm swearing in the telling the truth.
Yeah.
The property is at 3201 St. Charles Avenue. It's a converted apartment to a condo, and there were two of them, one above and one below. And the one below seems to be assessed at a higher rate than the one above. And I sent in all the drawings and so forth that show that these two condos are exactly alike. So, the difference in the assessment, it hadn't been explained to me. I think they should be exactly the same, and they're both the same condo unit.
The spreadsheet that we had, did you submit a spreadsheet?
Excuse me?
Did you submit a spreadsheet?
I submitted some drawings, which, like this, the colors, that shows when they changed from apartments to condos.
Okay.
The city was picking up the square footage for the 3-bedroom apartment. And they divided it into a 2-bedroom condo and a 1-bedroom efficiency. But they were picking up the square footage for the whole thing. And that's what they were basing the tax on. So when we appealed it to New Orleans, they changed one of them correctly, but the other one is different from 225 Tri-Joe is different from the 325. And they should be exactly the same.
And what is the, so you're saying that unit 225 should be the same as,
325. The mirror images of each other, one on top of the other.
And what value are you requesting?
The same value as 325.
which is,
Correct value.
which is what number?
I think it was appraised, I don't know what number you're asking for the square.
Well, we're
footage.
asking, yeah, we're asking for, well, I'd like to know the square footage, but we're also asking, what is the value that you're asking the tax commission to adopt?
The same as 325.
Which is?
215, I believe.
That's the staff appraisal. On your appeal, on the appeal form, you're asking for 266,300.
I think you may be saying 215,000 improvements only.
Right, not the land. I think the
Okay.
66 being.
Oh, okay.
land.
Yeah, right.
Because the land, well,
So the staff appraisal is less than your requested
the staff
value.
appraisal is exactly the same as 325.
Okay.
Okay, well, do we have that information submitted?
Yeah.
All I have is the, a drawing for what appears to be the third floor. I don't have any other drawings or. Let's see.
Now, the staff appraisal did use three condos, I think, in that same building.
Yes. So 225 and 325 are the units in question. Okay, all right, according to the spreadsheet, unit 225 is valued at $292,000. Unit 325 is also at 292,000.
The difference is under the building appraisal. 247,00 for 225, and 237,400 for 325. And I'm assuming that that's what's making the difference in the taxes.
Well, we value the property as a whole, we don't, because it's residential property. So if you add the land or take away from the land, it adds to the building, or vice versa.
But should the taxes be exactly the same if they're both appraised for $292,000?
What is your correct square footage?
Well, the taxes
Square
are,
footage
yeah,
is, hold on. $1,092. The total square footage for both the units was 1,622.
Which is what they're listing, so they never divided it between the two apartments? Like they left it at the original 1622, and that's, you're talking about 325 and 225, which we have information that shows them listed at 1622 each, but they should be 1,092 each. Okay.
well, the assessors office has the value, the overall value the same on both units there. You may disagree with how they broke it up or broke it down, but the values are the same. The overall value is $292,000. What I think you should be discussing more than that is the staff appraisal is less than 292, which means that according to our staff appraisal, the properties are overvalued. So,
And Mr. Adams, you keep saying, shouldn't the taxes be the same? Are you referring to the actual tax bill?
Yes, that's what we're dealing with.
Well, I'm actually asking the word, I mean, you keep saying tax, or are you actually meaning the tax that's on the tax bill itself?
The amount of the property
The amount.
taxes is different between 325 and 225.
well, if the spreadsheet I have in front of me is accurate, the total assessed value for both of those units is exactly the same. So if the total fair market value of both units is exactly the same, then the tax bill should be exactly the same, since it's in the same condominium building.
Unless it's homestead, one may be
Unless one is
homestead,
homestead
one may be.
exempt. Is one of them homestead exempt? Go ahead.
Okay.
Please do.
The assessor's original assessment for both units were the same. However, unit 325 filed an appeal at the board of review, and the assessment was reduced to $215,000 for 325, but unit 225 was not reduced
Okay.
to 250, to the same value. It was reduced to 225,000 and not 215,000.
So,
I believe that is correct.
okay, all right.
Trying to provide.
So, at the board of review, unit 325 is what you're saying, Mr. Lott?
Yes, unit 325 was reduced to 215,000.
So 215 or 225?
215,000.
Okay.
And unit three, and the taxpayer unit 225 was reduced to 225,000.
Okay, so 325 was reduced to 215, and unit 225 was reduced to 225? Okay, that makes sense.
That's the difference.
Okay, that makes sense. I was just trying to, because I'm looking at the spreadsheet and it says something entirely different, so now I understand, okay.
My first time, and I-
That's, I know, don't worry about it, don't worry about it, we sorted it out, okay. All right, Mr. Alvarez, do you have any comments or anything you want to say?
Yes, actually.
Okay,
So they, as I was explaining to Mr. Adams on the phone, the reason for the two different values from the board review is because it was heard by two different appraisals, each came out with a different value.
sure.
And as I, was trying to.
Well,
explain-
within reason, they're close to each
Yeah,
other,
that's it, it's $10,000
Yeah,
difference.
not a big deal.
They're in the ballpark.
unless you gotta pay the tax to them.
And the taxpayer is correct, our square footage is 1622, based on the condominium declaration that we have in file. Our office was hacked last year, so all of our square footages and information that we had was lost, so we had to rely on information from the city. So currently, the square footage is 1622. I was trying to get Mr. Adams to provide me with a notarial archive number so that I can research it and change the square footage to whatever it says on that amendment. Because if one of the rooms was broken out into a different condominium, as it appears to be the case, they would have an amendment on file so that I can follow the paper trail to make sure the square footage is correct. I just don't have access to that right now. I need to find something that I can use to document that square footage change. If the square footage is, that the taxpayer provided in his exhibits is correct, then the square footage of the valuation that the taxpayer, the staff's appraisal is, seems to be in the ballpark. It's just that I need to verify that square footage. I can't do it from a Xerox sheet. I need the actual notarial archive number. That way we can,
But,
get a square footage.
Mr. Adams, it's your testimony under oath that the square footage of both units is exactly the same. 1,092 square feet.
That's what's on the plans that I sent him.
Okay,
I had the same situation with my own unit 2 years ago, and he asked me for that information. I don't know where that information would be. We don't have it. So I suggested to him that if he wanted to verify it, come out there with a tape measure and measure it.
yeah, okay.
Well, and just to kind of reiterate, your unit is back at 1622 square feet as well. Like, we have to take the information from the city's archives and institute it, so we need to get that adjusted as well. But I can't use the actual, a Xerox copy. I need that documentation.
The Xerox copy that I provided, Russ, was a portion of the total plans, which are, you have a copy of, because you referred them to me. I couldn't make a copy of the full plans, and so you have those full plans as part of our condo documents, as part of the paperwork that you have. If you look on there, you can see where when they divided the apartments into condos, they put a line down the middle of the line in the pages that you have, you can see it when they redivided them into two different units. And then they put the square footage out to the right, 1,092.
No longer
You're
have
picking up
those.
1622.
I no longer have those documents. Like I said, our database was corrupted when we were hacked. So I can go and try to go to the notarial archives and see if I can pull it up. But what you gave me was just a photocopy portion of the plan with colored and highlighted. That's not something that I can use. That could be anything. I just need the notarial archive number.
All right, well, we're going nowhere quick with this discussion. Ms. Labat, let's hear about your appraisal.
So I did utilize the, copy of the plan provided by the taxpayer and, used an area of 1,092 square feet. All the rules are within the building, the taxpayer doesn't property for any period of time. We classified an average provision, and it comes to fair market value of $215,000, with $51,350 for land and $153,752.
And, go ahead. Say that again.
Yes, sir.
He is the president of the board of the condominium association. So,
All right. And you used 1,092 square feet for improvements? Okay, thank you. All right, well, we have Mr. Adams' testimony under oath, so that's certainly good enough for me.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, please.
I move in the matter of docket number 2022174-003 that the fair market value be set at the LTC staff appraisal value, land valued at $51,300, improvements at $163,700, with a total fair market value of $215,000.
Second.
Commissioner Burchett?
Yes.
Commissioner Poche?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahart?
Yes. All right, so we adjusted unit 215 to 215,000. 225, I'm sorry, 225.
215.
215,
Unit 225.
unit 225. Get a different unit next time you come here, so I don't get confused. All right, well, thank you very much for coming. Thank you. Let's see. We'll now take up the appeal of Candace Doley versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review. Docket number 20-22176-316. I'd ask you to please stand up so you can be sworn in as a witness. Go ahead and have a seat. Thank you. Just give me one moment. All right, let's go ahead and hear about the property. If both of you speak, please state your name for the record before you begin speaking, and please talk into the microphone. Okay.
I purchased my
Have to pull the
home.
microphone closer to you.
My name is Candace Doley. I
A
purchased.
little bit closer.
My name is Candace
Thank
Doley.
you.
I purchased this home in 2015. It was a post-Katrina renovation, so that renovation is now over 15 years old. It's a raised basement home. It has unusable space in the basement that has flooded twice since I purchased the home. The square footage that was used in the Orleans assessor's valuation is incorrect. We would like to submit that the square footage that should be used for the home would be approximately 2,294 square feet, which does not include the basement living area. It is not
That's the
usable
living
space.
area, the 2,294.
The 2,294 is the actual living area of the home. I would also like to point out that the comparable properties that were used in the assessment are not actually at all comparable to my home. Not even a little bit. They are numerous blocks away from my home. They are renovated, they are updated, and I don't believe that they have any real comparable characteristics to my particular home. The average sales price based on recent documents that we have seen, in the area is about $183. If you do the math, I believe that my valuation should be somewhere between $400,000 and $420,000. My assessment went from $380,000 to $693,000.
Tell me about the living area of
The living area includes the second floor of the home, which has
the
three,
basement?
not the basement.
No, but you have a basement?
Yes, there is a
On the
basement.
ground?
Yes,
Okay, the floor right above that,
the floor right above that is the living area.
that's the living area.
Yes, there are 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms on the main floor. There's also a built-out attic space that is used as an additional bedroom, and there's a bathroom up there. So it's 3 bathrooms, 3 full bathrooms, and you can call it 4 bedrooms.
Okay, and what condition would you say the living area is in?
It's in decent condition. The bathrooms are not updated, they're pretty outdated. Like a typical craftsman home in the Broadmoor area would be. The kitchen is not updated, there are no high-end finishes, there are no marble countertops, there are no, polished marble or travertine floors anywhere in my house. We slapped a fresh coat of paint in it when we moved in. That was pretty much the extent.
All right,
And we've done maintenance work, but no actual full renovation of the home.
and is this your home?
Yes.
Since you've had the home, it's flooded at least twice, okay? The damage that the flood did, basically still there.
Essentially, yes. I mean, because the basement is not usable space, it didn't really destroy anything. The walls in the basement there aren't even sheetrock walls down there, so we didn't have to rip anything up. But at the same time, there's just no livable space there currently. I believe you should have gotten, I submitted documents as exhibits. There were pictures of my basement that I submitted. And I hope that you were able to see those.
One of the photographs you submitted looks like it's a crack.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
That has actually widened since I purchased the home. It might have been.
And where is the crack at?
It's in the basement on the floor.
Is it on the floor?
On the floor, yes.
Okay, so it's in the slab.
Yes, I've actually seen water come up through it.
I'm Keith Dowie. I'm Candace's father. The basement, you can actually stand up and touch the ceiling, the top of the bottom floor. I mean, it can never be used as living space because there just isn't enough height. If a person,
How high is it, do you think? 7 feet?
oh, no,
6
no,
feet?
about 6 feet, yeah. Maybe 6.5, but not 7 feet.
Okay.
We also had some other comparables done, that's directly in the area, and I think they would be more inclined to be what Candace was mentioning, that are more directly related to what the value in that area. There were 4 houses within a very short period of very close proximity. 4437 South Priya Street, 4510, which was assessed at $424,000. 4510 South Galvin Street, assessed at $426,000. 3500 Upper Line, which was assessed at $395,000. 3601 Napoleon Street, 464 and 4524, which was assessed at 400,000. So I think that the 400 to, in the low fours, 400, maybe as high as 420, would be where this value comes. Yeah. I understand, because of a recent death in the family, we were not able to submit some of the documents that we had, and I had copies, but I understand that you all don't take copies, so.
The comps that we submitted are within an actual 2 to 3 block radius of my house. The comps that the Orleans Parish Assessor's Office submitted are multiple blocks away from my house, and I can just point out a couple of the differences. For the 5500 Fontainebleau Drive, that's numerous blocks away from my house. It has 5 bathrooms, it's been renovated, it's a smart home. It's got a almost 700 square foot rec room on the first level of the home. All bedrooms have ensuite baths. The living square footage is 4,086. The list price was $685. And I'm sure you've seen these. This is part of the document submitted. I'm just pointing out the differences. What is this, 30, in the 300,000 block of Octavia, 3605 Octavia, renovated, marble finishes, full downstairs bath and office that could be a 5th bedroom. I mean, it's set designer finishes. That's not my home. That is not even close to being comparable to my home. This is my favorite. 3601 Octavia. It has a pool. It has a pool house. The list price was $638. The pool house has a bath and a laundry room. There's no way I can get $693,000 for my home. If I could, I would sell it. Oh, what's the living square footage of that? 3707 is the living square footage of that home. 5417 South Galvez. I'm in the 4600 block. 5417 is multiple blocks further uptown, away from my house. Updated finishes. List price $649. 3,264 square feet. Master suite has his and her closets. This is nothing like my home.
Okay. Excuse me one second. Mr. Bolton, so we can save a little time, I'm going to ask you to take a look at your appraisal and to classify the subject property as average condition rather than, I believe you have it classified in very good condition. What that would do to the value. I'll give you a few minutes to try and work on that. All right, I'm sorry, y'all go ahead.
And I will say that just to give you some perspective, we painted the outside of the house. It doesn't look bad from the outside. It really doesn't. The inside though is just.
Well, the inside of the house is nice, but it's not. It's average condition.
It's nothing like these houses that are listed here. And all of these houses are listed for far less than $693,000.
Okay. All right. One sec, Mr. Bolton, just give me a moment. Just give us a moment. All right.
That was just.
Okay. All right. Thank you all. Mr. Alvarez, you want to comment?
Just that the assessor's office has the value based on our square footage. The taxpayer is correct. The property has been freshly painted. Looks like it's in very good, actually, condition from the outside. The information provided by the taxpayer, you're stating that there's cracks in the wall, metal in the basement. That's not an actual living area. That's in the basement area, correct?
Correct, but based on.
Also, the comparables that the taxpayers using are all half the square footage of what the assessor's office has. So that would account for a difference between the taxpayers' value and with the assessed value of the comparables that the taxpayer is providing. We have submitted an appraisal to the commission along with our comparables and a photo of the subject property. The comparables that the taxpayers critiquing from the assessor's appraisal, they're not being valued with a higher weight. They're giving a low weight because Octavia is more of a superior location than Galvin Street. So that's not giving the same weight as the subject property. We're making adjustments for that. We feel that with the square footage, if the square footage is indeed what it is, and I have not been able to verify that our appraised value is appropriate for the subject property. We don't agree with the commission's appraisal of 450, considering the property was initially sold for 450,000. It's had some kind of mediation work done to it, and the housing market is a lot higher than it was in 2015. We also agree that if the bottom floor is unusable basement space, it should have a contributory value to the overall value, but it should not be valued as with the same level as the main dwelling of the structure. I think that's it. All the questions, comments that I have.
All right, well, I mean, based on the testimony, a crack in a slab is usually a big deal, especially if there's water coming up through the crack, which is a problem. And again, based on the testimony, the finishings inside the home are sounds to be of more like average condition. Nothing wrong with it, but it's not granite countertops, it's not marble floors. It's more than functional, more than livable, but not excellent finishes. Yeah. Okay. All right. Mr. Bolton, you want to go ahead and tell us about your appraisal and the adjustment that I asked you to take a look at? Did you inspect the interior of the property? Okay. So if it's valued in average condition, you would estimate a fair market value of $405,000. Okay. All right. Say that again. Can you repeat the last sentence, Mr. Bolton?
Mr. Bolton, your comp number 1 seems like it's on the same street.
Oh, it's right down the line, yeah. On the same street.
Well, my concern, based on hearing the testimony, is the subject property being valued in very good condition. Again, I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing the subject property, but it doesn't appear that very good condition is the right category. It sounds like it's more just average condition. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly livable, but like I said earlier, it's not granite countertops, marble floors, $1,000 faucets, nothing like that.
No.
Okay. All right,
I'm ready to make a motion.
yes, please.
I would move in the matter of docket number 222176-316 that we set the land at 53,800, improvements at 351,200 for a fair market value of $405,000.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
Commissioner Poche,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers,
Yes.
and Chairman Shahardi.
Yes. All right, we put it at
Thank you
405,000.
very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Yes.
Lynn Wood, husband of.
All right, let's give me one moment. I've got to call it up. And I ask you to pull the microphone closer to you speaking. Next will be the appeal of Jan Hutchinson versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22177-035. All right, go ahead and state your name for the record, and please talk close to the microphone.
All right, Glenn Wood, husband of Jan Hutchinson.
Okay. All right, go ahead and tell us about the property.
Well, I kind of just inherited this situation because we just got married about a year and a half ago, and to be honest, she's not really on top of financial things. She's an art teacher at Trinity. So I do contract, and I have a contractor's license with the state of Louisiana, and it needs quite a few things to get it up to speed. So all I'm trying to do is kind of get it right, you know. For instance, we have some underhouse issues in the ground with a plumbing terracotta pipe that we got to pull up and replace all the way to the main. And then it needs a complete set of windows all the way around because they're all crooked, because the house on the right rear corner fell about 4.5 inches. So we got to do a little pier work back there to get it back up to where it belongs, so I can put the windows in. And then quite a while ago, I put central air upstairs, but it doesn't have it downstairs. So when you go to rent it, it's a little bit more difficult when you got window units flaring away. So, you know, I had just sent Mark some pictures because I just got involved with this thing, and I'm just gonna see where it goes.
All right, Mr. Gillespie's appraisal on the property is $380,000.
Yeah.
Does that sound reasonable?
I was trying to get it to about 350, and then I'd be happy. And then I'm gonna go back and do some of these upgrades, and then we'll be real close.
Okay.
Because he's got a tough job. I can tell you, uptown, you can have one house that's worth $1 million and a block away. You got one that's blighted. So
Yeah, I
he's got a
understand.
tough job.
I understand. So the $380,000 might be a little higher than what you're hoping for, but
Yeah.
it's more reasonable. Am I correct?
It's more reasonable than 433,
Yeah.
positively. So, if you can help me, that's fine. If not, so be it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Alvarez?
The assessor's office initially valued the property at $433,700. This is a multifamily property located in the West Fontainebleau neighborhood. We performed a fee simple appraisal of this property, sent that to the taxpayer and the tax commission, along with the comparables that we used to derive the appraised value, and our appraisal and a photo of the subject property. Subject property appears to be in average condition. We valued the appraisal, where our revised valuation came out to $413,600. That is the value that we're asking the tax commission to set. I haven't received any documentation from the taxpayer, but you said you have, you're a contractor. Do you have any estimates as far as your, okay, would you be able to provide those to the assessor's office? Okay. So we would need, your contract estimates on your letterhead and, just photo documentation. Is it currently rented?
Yeah, the person upstairs is moving at the end of August. So,
How many units are rented?
Excuse me, can you talk closer to the microphone?
It's just an upstairs and downstairs.
Okay.
So upstairs will be vacant at the end of August.
Okay, but it's currently rented.
Yeah, it's currently rented, yeah.
What rents do you receive for the property?
Upstairs is like 1,600 and downstairs is 1,400.
Okay.
Anything else, Mr. Alvarez?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Gillespie, can you tell us about your appraisal?
Mark Gillespie with the tax commission. I personally inspected the property 7885 Street, an external inspection, and did the appraisal using the sales approach and the income approach, and determined the overall market value to be $380,000. Undisputed land value $64,800, and the improvement value of $315,000.
Any questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I move on docket number 20-221-77-035, that fair market value be set at LTC staff appraisal, land $64,800, improvements $315,200, for a total fair market value of $380,000.
Second.
Commissioner Bercher?
Yes.
Commissioner Poche?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi?
Yes. All right, we reduced it down to 380,000, so hopefully that's more palatable.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much for coming. Is there anyone else outside? No. All right, so we'll go back to the top of the docket, I guess. We'll next take up the appeal of Hugh Lambert versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22174-082. One moment. All right, no one is here this morning on behalf of the taxpayer. Mr. Alvarez, go ahead.
Bear with me one second.
I'll add the taxpayers, in an email said that he was in agreement with the tax commission staff appraisal.
We have no objection to staff appraisal.
No objection, okay. Mr. Wallace?
Yes, the Louisiana Tax Commission, appraised the property for $1,450,000. That's $354,800 for the uncontested land and $1,095,200 for the improvement.
All right, thank you. We have the assessor's office and the taxpayer in agreement with the tax commission staff appraisal. We have a motion?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I move in the docket, in the matter of docket number 2022174-082, that the fair market value be set at the LTC staff of value with land set at $354,800, improvements set at $1,095,200, with a total fair market value of $1,450,000.
Second?
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
Commissioner Poche,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. Now take up the appeal of Mr. Gu versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22176-014. No one here on behalf of the property owner taxpayer. However, the taxpayer has indicated that he's in agreement with the tax commission staff appraisal. Mr. Alvarez?
The assessor's office agrees with staff appraisal.
Ms. Kennedy? Can you tell us about your appraisal?
I personally appraised the property at 2017 Lower Line Street in New Orleans, and I came up with a value of $329,000 with an undisputed land value of $86,800 and an improvement value at $242,200.
All right, thank you. We have the taxpayer and assessor in agreement on the staff appraisal. We have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move on docket 2022176-014. We accept the LTC staff appraisal, set land $86,800, improvement value $242,200, for a total fair market value of $329,000.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
Commissioner Poche,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. We'll now take up the appeal of Paul Christensen versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22176-097. And one moment. All right, no one here on behalf of the property owner taxpayer. However, the taxpayer, property owner, has stated he is in agreement with the tax commission staff appraisal. Mr. Alvarez?
The assessor's office initially valued this property at $413,300. It's a single-family property located in the Ursuline neighborhood. We provided a fee simple appraisal to the commission and the taxpayer, along with our comparables, photo of the subject property. That fee simple appraisal that we performed showed that our initial valuation, which was affirmed by the BOR, was slightly high. It came out to a value of $379,400, $77,200 for the land, $302,200 for the building. That's the value that we asked the commission to set, which appears to be right in line with the staff appraisal.
And so you're asking for 379.4?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. Ms. Kennedy, can you tell us about your appraisal?
Yes, I personally appraised the property at 2216 Joseph Street in New Orleans, and I came up with a value of $350,000 with an undisputed land value of $77,200 and the improvements value at $242,200.
$272,800.
Thank you. We have a motion?
Yes, I would move in the matter of docket number 2022-176-097 that we set the land at 77,200, improvements at 272,800 for a fair market value total of $350,000.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher?
Yes.
Commissioner Poche?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi?
Yes. Next is the appeal of Roy Ariola versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22176-102. Nobody present on behalf of the property owner. The property owner did state that he is in agreement with the Louisiana Tax Commission staff appraisal. Mr. Alvarez?
The assessor's office initially valued the property at $417,900, which was affirmed by the BOR. Subject property to single-family property in Nashville, on Nashville Street, approximately in the Lusher School District. We provided a fee simple appraisal to the tax commission and the taxpayer, along with the photo and the comparables from MLS that was used to derive the value. We're asking the tax commission to set the value at $61,200 for the land, $320,600 for the building, for a total fair market value of $381,800. We feel that that is a more accurate indicator of value.
Thank you. Ms. Kennedy, tell us about your appraisal.
Personally appraised the property located at 2517 Nashville Avenue in New Orleans, Louisiana. And I feel that they value of $335,000 with an undisputed land value of $61,200 and the improvements valued at $273,800.
Thank you. There are no questions. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I move in the matter of docket number 2022-176-102 that the fair market value be set at the LTC staff market value with appraisal for the land being set at $61,200, improvements set at $273,800 with a total fair market value of $335,000.
Second?
Commissioner Vercher?
Yes.
Commissioner Poche?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
Chairman Shahardi?
Yes. Next is the appeal of Robert Warren versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22176-381. All right, no one here on behalf of the property owner. However, the property owner did state that he was in agreement with the tax commission staff appraisal. Mr. Alvarez?
The assessor's office initially valued the property at $912,500. It was lowered by the BOR to $825,000. We performed a fee simple appraisal of the property, provided that to the taxpayer and the tax commission, along with the MLS comparables for the subject photo of the subject property and our addendum. Our fee simple appraisal is within 10% of the BOR's value. It came out to $770,000. It's the value that we're asking the tax commission to set.
770, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lowry, can you tell us about your appraisal, please?
Yes, sir. I personally appraised the property at 2413 Eastwood Avenue, New Orleans. I came to the undisputed a total value of $650,000 with a undisputed land value of $102,000 and improvements valued at $548,000.
There are no questions. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move on docket number 20-22176-381 that fair market value be set at LTC staff appraisal. Land, 102,000. Improvements, 548,000, for a total fair market value of 650,000.
Second.
Commissioner Burcher?
Yes.
Commissioner Poche?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi?
Yes. Yes. Next will be the appeal of Thomas Crumley versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22177-005. No one here this morning on behalf of the property owner or taxpayer? Ms. Malmrez, go ahead.
The assessor's office agrees with the tax commission staff appraisal. It's within 10% of our value.
So your assessor's office is in agreement with 865,000?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Bolton?
$865,000 for a whole value, the land value of $90,300. That must be $14,000. And we pay $771.
All right, no questions, we have a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would move on docket 20-22177-005, that we accept the LTC staff appraisal, set land at $93,300, improvement value $771,700, for a total fair market value $865,000.
Second.
Commissioner Burcher?
Yes.
Commissioner Poche?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi?
Yes. Yes. I believe the next appeal is item M, am I correct on that? The appeal of Christopher Weiss versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22177-100. One moment. All right, no one here this morning on behalf of the property owner or taxpayer. So I'll ask Ms. Alvarez to go ahead.
The assessor's office has no objection to the staff's appraisal.
All right, thank you. Mr. Gillespie?
Mark Gillespie with the tax commission, I appraised the property at 2123 Bird. Determined the total market value to be $280,000. Undisputed land value, $64,800. The improvement value, $215,200.
All right, thank you. Any questions?
You ready for a motion?
Yes, I am.
In the matter of 22-2177100, I would move that we set the fair market value of the LTC staff appraisal, land $64,800, improvements $215,200, for a fair market value total of $280,000.
Second.
Commissioner Burcher?
Yes.
Commissioner Poche?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi?
Yes. Next is the appeal of Russell W. Allen versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22172-038. No one here on behalf of the taxpayer, property owner. However, the property owner is in agreement with the Louisiana Tax Commission staff appraisal. Mr. Alvarez?
The assessor's office doesn't have a disagreement with the staff's appraisal. However, the staff's appraisal is $700 from the board review. We asked the tax commission to reaffirm the board review's value.
All right, let me get this clear. The tax commission staff appraisal is $1,260,000. The board of review is the same number, and the assessor's office is the same number.
I think I'm on the wrong one.
No.
No, I think this is item,
830 Bourbon Street.
oh, we're on 830 Bourbon Street?
830 Bourbon.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I jumped ahead to the wrong
Okay.
number.
I
Yeah.
want to get finished too, but we need to take them one at a time, unfortunately.
My apologies.
No
Yeah,
problem.
the commission's the same value as the board review.
Yeah, the same value, okay. All right. All right, all right, Ms. Labat, go ahead and tell us about your appraisal.
I personally inspected and appraised the subject property, classified as under every condition, determined the fair market value of $1,260,000, with $177,100 for the land, and $1,082,900.
All right, any questions? Mr. Burson, you have a motion?
I would move on docket 2022172-038 that we affirm the parish board review, set the value of the land at $177,100, improvement value $1,082,900, for a total fair market value of $1,260,000.
Second?
Commissioner Burcher?
Yes.
Commissioner Poche?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
Chairman Shahardi?
Yes. The appeal of Brown Investments Incorporated versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22174-046. All right, no one here on behalf of the property owner. However, property owner stated and that he was in agreement with the tax commission staff appraisal. Mr. Alvarez?
Okay, so this one is the one where we only have the $700
Right.
difference between the board review. We're asking the tax commission to reaffirm the board review, since there's such an insignificant difference.
Okay. All right, Ms. Labat, you want to tell us about your appraisal?
Sure, I appraised the subject property, utilizing the median and market approach to value, determined the fair market value of $833,000, with $81,400 for land, and $551,600.
Any questions? Ms. Wood, you have a motion?
Yes, in the matter of docket number 222174046, I would move that we affirm the board of review value of land, $81,400, improvements, $552,300, for a fair market value total of $633,700. Second?
Commissioner Burcher?
Yes.
Commissioner Poche?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi?
Yes. Next is the appeal of 2513 Nashville Street LLC versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22176-178. Just give me a moment. No one present on behalf of the property owner. The property owner is in agreement with the tax commission staff appraisal. Mr. Alvarez?
The assessor's office is also in agreement.
Thank you. Ms. Kennedy, you want to tell us about your appraisal, please?
Okay, I personally appraised the property at 2113 National Avenue in New Orleans, and I came up with a total value of $366,000 with an undisputed land value of $81,600 and the improvements value at $284,400.
Thank you. Do you have a motion?
Chairman, I move on docket number 20-22176-178, that the fair market value be set, LTC staff appraisal, land, $81,600, improvement, $284,400, for a total fair market value of $366,000.
Second.
Commissioner Burcher?
Yes.
Commissioner Poche?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi?
Yes. Next is the appeal of Scott Wolf Jr. versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22176-257. No one present on behalf of the property owner. However, the property owner is in agreement with the tax commission staff appraisal. Mr. Alvarez?
The assessor's office initially valued the property at $727,200, which was affirmed by the BOR. We performed a fee simple appraisal on the property and submitted that information along with an MLS comparable and photo of the subject property to the tax commission. That appraisal yielded a value slightly higher at $732,700, but it's still within the ballpark of our initial valuation. We're only asking the commission to reaffirm the BOR's valuation. We feel that that is an accurate indicator of value. It's within 4% of the tax commission staff appraisal at $700,000.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Bolton, tell us about your appraisal, please. All right, thank you. Mr. Burchett, you have a motion?
Yes, I would move on docket 2022176, 176-257, that we affirm the parish board of review value, set land at $252,000, improvement value $475,200, for a total fair market value of $727,200.
Second?
Commissioner Burcher?
Yes.
Commissioner Poche?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi?
Yes. Next will be the appeal of Jeantaine Mears versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22176-278. In one moment. All right, no one here on behalf of the property owner. And however, the property owner did state that they were in agreement with the Louisiana Tax Commission staff appraisal. Mr. Alvarez?
The assessor's office initially valued the property at $810,600. It was affirmed by the BOR. We performed a fee simple appraisal and provided that to the commission for the purpose of this hearing. It indicated that our initial valuation was high. Our revised appraisal came out to a value of $609,300, and that is the value that we're asking the commission to set.
All right, thank you. Mr. Lowry, tell us about your appraisal.
Yes, sir. I personally appraised the property at 58 Street, New Orleans. I came to a total value of $571,000. Undisputed land value of $123,700. And improvement value of $447,000.
All right, do we have any questions? If not, do we have a motion?
I would move in the matter of docket number 222176-278 that we accept the LTC staff value and set the land at $123,700, improvements at $447,300 for a fair market value of $571,000.
Second.
Commissioner Archer?
Yes.
Commissioner Poche?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahart?
Yes. Now I'll take up the appeal of Lawrence Mann versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22176-292. No one here on behalf of the property owner. However, the property owner is in agreement with the tax commission staff appraisal. Mr. Alvarez?
The assessor's office initially valued the property at $585,500. It was affirmed by the BOR. We since then submitted a revised appraisal to the tax commission, along with our comparables and a photo of the subject property. That revised appraisal would yield a value of $507,200, $440 for the building, $67,200 for the land. That's the value that we're asking the commission to set.
All right, thank you. Mr. Bolton, tell us about your appraisal. Do you have any questions?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I move in the matter of docket number 20222176-292 that the fair market value be set at the LTC staff value with the land valued at $67,200, improvements valued at $397,800, and the total fair market value of $465,000.
Second.
Commissioner Archer?
Yes.
Commissioner Poche?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahart?
Yes. Now I'll take up the appeal of Brenda Fusilier versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review. Docket number is 20-22177-061. No one here on behalf of the property owner. However, the property owner stated that they accept the Louisiana Tax Commission staff appraisal. Mr. Alvarez?
We have no objection to the staff appraisal. It's within 10% of our value.
Thank you. Mr. Wallace, want to tell us about your appraisal? Thank you. Well, the assessor's office and taxpayer are in agreement on the staff appraisal. Do we have a motion?
Chairman,
Yes.
I move on docket number 20-22177-061 that the fair market value be set at LTC staff appraisal, land $64,700, improvement $100,300, for a total fair market value of $165,000.
Second.
Commissioner Archer?
Yes.
Commissioner Poche?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
and Chairman Shahart.
Yes. Next is the appeal of Richard Exnicius versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22177-083. No one here this morning on behalf of the property owner. However, property owner is in agreement with the tax commission staff appraisal. Mr. Alvarez?
The assessor's office initially valued the property at $526,000. Now, this is a multifamily property located in the North Fontainebleau neighborhood. The Board of Review lowered the value to $391,500, which was based on a income approach valuation of an appraisal provided by the taxpayer. The sales comparison approach yielded a value of $380,000. The income approach $391,500, and the Board of Review lowered it to $391,500. And like I said, that was an appraisal provided by the taxpayer themselves. The assessor's office has since revalued or revised an appraisal for a fee simple appraisal, provided that to the tax commission, as well as the taxpayer with our MLS comparables and a photo of the subject property. Our fee simple appraisal supports the value of the appraisal submitted by the taxpayer. So we're asking the tax commission to set the value at our revised appraisal value at $387,600, which is within line of the BOR's valuation, as well as the appraisal submitted by the taxpayer themselves.
You said that there was an appraisal submitted by the taxpayer?
Yes, sir. To the Board of Review and to our office, it was a fee simple. I'm sorry, sales comparison approach of 380 and an income approach of 391.
You don't happen to have a copy of it with you, or?
I don't have internet access. If I did, I could download it.
So the taxpayer had an appraisal that justified a value at the appraised value was $391,500.
Yes, sir.
On that appraisal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you're asking us to?
387.6, which is a little bit less than the Board of Review based on our revised appraisal.
Okay. All right. Mr. Gillespie?
Mark Gillespie with the Tax Commission, I did appraise the property 7922 Nelson, and I spoke with taxpayer on this. He did provide me with the appraisal that you're speaking of, and I studied it at length. The appraiser, the effective date of the appraisal is 1/16/2020, and the sales were in line. However, the appraiser classified the property in average condition. After an external inspection and total income provided by the taxpayer, I determined the property to be in fair/average condition. And my appraisal reflects such, and I determined the overall market value to be $328,500, the improvement value $247,500, and the land value at $81,000.
Mark, so you're saying it was in average to fair instead of fair condition? I mean, instead of average condition?
Yes, in fact, if you look at in my report, you'll see some of the photos showing the issues, some of the issues with the property.
Were you provided a copy of the taxpayer's appraisal?
Yes, sir. He sent it to me, and I studied it at length, and I'm not sure if the issues were there in 2020 when or January 16th of 2020 when the appraiser completed his report. However, when I inspected it, the issues were present.
Okay, so what you're saying is that, in your opinion, the condition of the property under the appraisal that was submitted to the Board of Review does not reflect the condition of the property today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. and that the property is in worse condition today than what that appraisal showed it to be. And that staff appraisal, what's the date on that, oh, excuse me, on that fee appraisal? What was the date of that appraisal?
The effective date on the fee appraisal is January 16th, 2020.
Okay.
Hey, Russell, did you talk to the taxpayer, on your revised number, about your revised number?
No, sir, I didn't get a chance to discuss it with the taxpayer.
Okay.
But I imagine the taxpayer would have been in agreement with it, considering it's less than the appraisal that he purchased from a fee simple appraiser.
Unless he knew maybe that the LTC number was gonna be less.
I can only assume that any taxpayer will try to get the lowest number possible. If our value had come out before March, then he would jump at it. If not, then he would try to go for the lower value, obviously.
Well, there Mr. Gillespie, were there photographs in that fee appraisal that showed the outside conditions or?
I believe there were, but I don't remember offhand, if you may note, he being the previous appraiser made note of any of the issues that I found. He must not have, if you classified it in average condition, because it's, from what I can see, obviously it's not an average condition problem.
Our field inspection, January 2021, performed by our office, actually confirms an average condition. We performed a field inspection and provided that photograph to the Louisiana Tax Commission. And that's why our appraisal is listed as average condition, which is in agreement with the fee simple appraisal by the taxpayer.
Mark, in the appraisal that you submitted, I'm looking at an exterior photo that I guess is the back of the building that can't be seen from the street, but it looks like there's a whole structure missing and exposed wood and bricks. I mean, it looks like the floor is open.
In fact, on the second story, there, in the rear of the structure, there previously was a balcony or a balcony, I guess, and it's not there now. So, and that is a safety issue. The door opens out on the second story to
A drop off.
You can't step on the second door.
Well, you could.
Because you'd have a long walk down.
Could.
Yeah, the photographs that you submitted with your appraisal, Mr. Gillespie, does show the rear, and some of the exterior needing some extensive work.
Well, I guess if you were to buy, potential buyer for this property, I think these issues, shown in the photos would certainly, affect the value. It would be, I would classify it as fair average. Inside is in fair average condition as well, but primarily, the external photos which you see here in the report really show the major issues of the problem.
Did you see photographs of the interior?
No, sir.
No.
Just on the, I took the word of the taxpayer, and he provided, headlights, the interior, he said it hasn't been updated in forever, but it's little.
Okay.
Well, yes, it's livable because they did an income approach to it and it's being rented out currently. Correct? Yes.
It's livable, yeah.
In fact, I did an income approach as well.
Did you have an opportunity, Russell, to look at the LTC appraisal and see those pictures and?
I did. I took a look at it. Our valuation was based on it being kind of an average condition, and as, I didn't scrutinize it because our appraisal is slightly lower than the the taxpayer's appraisal. So,
Okay, thank
really,
you.
okay.
Got a motion?
I would have a motion, based on the testimony given, the, pictures of the condition of the outside and the obvious dangerous second floor situation, I would move the matter of docket number 222177-083, that we set the fair market value land 81,000, improvements 247,500 for a fair market value total of $328,500.
Second?
Commissioner Archer?
Yes.
Commissioner Poche?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Shawardi?
Yes. Yes. Next is the appeal of Nancy Ewell Estitious versus the Orange Parish Board of Review, docket number 20-22177-084. No one here on behalf of the property owner. The property owner is in agreement with the tax commission staff appraisal. Mr. Alvarez?
The assessor's office, initially valued the property at $473,400. It was lowered slightly to the BOR, by the BOR to $420,000. We performed a fee simple appraisal of the property. This is a two-family dwelling located in North Fontainebleau neighborhood. We feel that the current market value, is reflected in our revised appraisal of $403,600, and that's the value we're asking the commission.
Thank you. Mr. Gillespie?
Mark Gillespie with the tax commission, I raised the property at 7924,000. This property is right next door to the previous appeal. There's only 29 square foot difference between the two properties. Only difference is this particular property is an average condition. Using the same sales, determined the overall market value to be $345,000. The undisputed land value, $81,000, and the improvement value, $264,000.
Any questions? We have a motion? Anybody?
I would move on docket 20-22177-084 that we accept the LTC staff appraisal, set land value at $81,000, improvement value $264,000, or a total fair market value of $345,000.
Second?
Commissioner Archer?
Yes.
Commissioner Poche?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Shawardi?
Yes. I believe that clears our docket for today. Did we miss anything?
No.
Got it, caught everything? All right. Tax Commission hereby accepts all pre-filed documents and oral testimony into the record as Taxpayer Exhibit 1 in Globo, Assessor Exhibit 1 in Globo, and Louisiana Tax Commission, Staff Appraiser Exhibit 1 in Globo, for each appeal hearing conducted today, respectfully. All right, at this time, I'll make a motion that we go into executive session. Okay. All right, let me get this cleared up. Thank you, Ms. Alvarez. Motion that we go into executive session. Do we have a second?
Second?
Commissioner Archer?
Yes.
Commissioner Poche?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Shawardi?
Yes.